Joseph Ravens from Chicago here. You know, I heard that in New York there's a place that shows edgy, bold performance art by outstanding artists from around the world.
Grace Exhibition Space is awesome and important because they support artists at any stage in their development and preserve a space for artistic risk-taking and experimentation.
Hey amigos! I think Grace Space Gallery is the most spectacular, supportive, and friendly performance gallery I ever known.
Grace Exhibition Space is an incubator for performance art. People from all over the world can come to Grace Exhibition Space to connect with other artists in the community, to explore ideas, to come together, to fall apart. That happens too. It's an expansive entity, and I love that about it.
Colgada is a performance exploring a terrain where there is little control over one's actions. Regardless of the power and force applied to move away from systemic casualties, one's body is controlled by a stronger force, like a pendulum that forces one to remain with the object of study. Colgada investigates self-awareness acquired by being connected to one's light. It points out at political and social forces incurred to Mexico and the devastating effect it might have on individuals. How individuals become resilient through a process of understanding and overcoming challenges. The war on drugs, politics of migration, and gender violence are the main topics of the bloodshed in my country. And my main source of survival has been a lifelong investigation and union with the self and a fight of systemic injustice.
Performance artist Nicola Fornoni was born in Brescia, a city nearby Milan, in Italy. He is affected by scleroderma, an autoimmune, rheumatic and chronic disease that hardens the connective tissues of the body. Also, he defeated a severe form of leukemia when he was only a kid. In his performances and video works, he contextualizes his stigma to bring the viewer to consider a broader dimension of existence. It is as if his constrained physical body transforms into an organic poetic membrane through which one perceives that something may happen or will happen, and that somehow has already happened. Courage and stamina versus fear, care versus uncare and indifference. Nicola started doing performances 8 years ago when he was 23 years old to explore issues about a society that humiliates and alienates those who have different anatomical potentials. For him, performance art is a practice that allows redeeming oneself from daily hardships and life itself, thus not only. He chose to express himself through performance art and investigate the notion of healing, not solely concerning physical disease, but those psychological and social, as many events in life make us realize we need a breakthrough at times. The first performance he did was about the notion of rebirth and how to apply it in an apparent stasis situation until the body starts to produce movements through effort and fatigue. In his own words, once he told me, "The mutation of the body throughout life is already a unique and incredible performance. Therefore, many times I wondered if I had even performed without having had health problems. The acute lymphoblastic leukemia when I was 5 years old, with all its curse, and the relapse when I was 8. Then I underwent the transplantation of the bone marrow to heal from leukemia, followed by another transplantation of stem cells, and in the end the scleroderma, as a result of everything, and that from the standing position constrained me to the sitting one. All this characterizes my artistic research on body art, love, body limit, body transformation, relationship between people, life itself, and its transcendence. I always put myself on the line and act from there. I ever dealt with leaving on my skin while I've passed through hospitals, and I don't hide anything. During the third year at the academy, I understood that performance art was the way of undertaking a dialogue that also wins through social activism, and try of making of my existence an act of poetic revolt. Nicola does not perform to represent his condition. Rather, he sheds light upon processes of cognition and experience, exemplified dramatically but poetically. He delves into the self to counteract the spectacularization of disability and of the human body itself, whatever the physical features of a body may be. Operating a clear distinction between what is real and what isn't, Nicola puts into question at which degree the discourse on disability depends on common standards of the industrial culture of our times, with its penchant for fads and glamorization that subordinates all that is not functional to its credo. In his durational performances, Nicola's body becomes a porous visceral contaminant, waging a battle against spurious conceptualization of the disabled body, inherent impediments, and alleged passivity. He diseases and unhouses the viewers, unsettling their role. In a time when nothing is stable and fiction continuously filters into reality, Nicola challenged the boundaries of performance. The idea of disciplines crumbles. The gap between audience and performer shrinks. New spatial materiality makes its way, bringing us to realize that we need the others, not a spectacle, to understand who we are. His are acts of self-sacrifice, in the sense of giving oneself nakedly to something impossible to define, but which contain eros and thanatos, evidence and compassion. Moreover, they become acts of transgression having a double impact, causing a double shifting effect, albeit temporary, which is breathtaking and cathartic simultaneously. When I saw Nicola performing my first time, he helped me change my gaze. As a spectator, I was taken aback, witnessing a process where any resistance to pain was overcome. Nicola didn't surrender to pain. He became his pain himself. And finally, however, withstanding indescribable stresses, he surpassed it, at last, to redeem the spectators from the idea and fear of pain they may have. and I'm talking here of inner pain, not merely physical. To have significant pain is a certainty, but to witness the suffering of the other is also to have distrust and doubts. Doubts of who hasn't suffered in such a way amplify the suffering of those already in pain. In this respect, the concepts of difference, diversity, and disability imply an organic coherence with life, mirroring the dialectic coexistence of dualism, good and evil, right and wrong, light and shadow, beautiful and ugly, joy and sorrow, health and disease. Within this perspective, Nicola's performances surge as proposal for social change, for art is the social within us, and still the social exists also where there is only one person with his individual experiences and tribulations.
Welcome to Grace Exhibition Space. This performance was made by Nicola Fornoni, who is here. We met him in Venice many years ago. We spent a year trying to put together tonight's performance. So thank you. In the program, there's a little description of tonight's piece and more information about Nicola. You can talk to him. It's best if you speak to him in Italian. So, thank you very much.